Something happened in Russia that nobody on mainstream media wants to talk about. Russia, the country that was supposedly running out of missiles. The country Western analysts said was firing its last reserves. The country that CNN told you was being depleted by Ukraine. That Russia just rebuilt its entire long-range strike arsenal from scratch, while the war was still going. And NATO generals are now saying, publicly, on record, we are not ready. This is the story behind the story. Let us go back to 2022. Western media had a consistent narrative. Russia was burning through missiles faster than it could make them. Sanctions were working. The Russian military-industrial complex was collapsing. Any day now, Putin would run out of firepower. That narrative was repeated for 2 years straight. Here is what was actually happening. Russia was using the war in Ukraine as a live testing ground. Every missile fired was data. Every air defense system it probed was intelligence. Every sanction imposed forced Russian engineers to find workarounds, substitutions, and homegrown solutions. The pain was real, but the lesson was learned. By 2024, something flipped. Russia stopped consuming faster than it produced. Production began exceeding usage. The stockpiles started growing, not shrinking, and nobody told you. Now let us talk verified figures, because this channel deals in facts, not feelings. According to Ukraine's own military intelligence, as of mid-2025, Russia's missile stockpile looked like this. Nearly 600 Iskander-M ballistic missiles. These are the ground-launched precision killers with a range of 500 kilometers. Over 300 Kh-101 cruise missiles, launched from strategic bombers, capable of striking targets 2,500 kilometers away. Nearly 300 Iskander-K cruise missiles. Another ground-launched variant that NATO has no easy counter to. Over 400 Calibre-C launched cruise missiles, fired from submarines and warships. More than 100 Kinzhal hypersonic missiles. Mach 10, near impossible to intercept. Around 700 Onyx and Zircon anti-ship and hypersonic missiles. And on top of all of that, 60 North Korean KN-23 ballistic missiles. Because Russia diversified its supply chain too. Now here is the number that should stop you cold. Russia is producing approximately 195 missiles every single month. Every single month. That is 60 to 70 Iskander-M units, 60 to 70 Kh-101 units, 25 to 30 calibers, 15 Kinzhals, 20 to 30 Iskander-Ks, every 30 days. And according to the Royal United Services Institute, one of the oldest and most respected defence think tanks in the world, Russia's Ministry of Defence planned to produce 750 Iskander missiles and 560 Kh-101 missiles in 2025 alone. This is not a country that is running out. This is a country that is restocking for the next war. So, where does NATO stand? In July 2025, US Army Major General John Rafferty gave an interview that honestly should have made front-page news everywhere. He said that Russia is accelerating production of advanced long-range weapons at a pace that could seriously undermine NATO's ability to prevent large-scale conflict in Europe if the alliance does not respond with equal urgency. Read that again. A serving US general is telling you NATO may not be able to prevent war with Russia. That is not a fringe view. That is institutional alarm. Here is the structural problem. NATO's air defence systems were built for a Cold War threat model. They were designed assuming a small number of incoming missiles. Russia has figured out how to overwhelm that model. When Russia fires 741 aerial weapons in a single night, as it did in one attack on Ukraine in July 2025, it does not matter how good your Patriot battery is. You simply do not have enough interceptors. And interceptors cost far more than the missiles they're shooting down. Russia has already reverse-engineered the economics of air defence. One Shahed drone costs roughly $50,000. One Patriot interceptor costs over $4 million. Russia is not trying to get through. Russia is trying to bankrupt the response. Now, let us talk about the weapon that is genuinely making European defence planners lose sleep. The Orreshnik, Russia's new intermediate-range ballistic missile. First used operationally in November 2024. It travels at Mach 10 or higher. Multiple, independently targeted warheads. According to Ukraine's Foreign Intelligence Service, no existing NATO air defence system can intercept it. Now, Western media tried to downplay this. They pointed out, correctly, that Russia only had 3 or 4 Orreshnik missiles as of late 2025. The narrative was, "It is all bluff. It is all theatre. Do not worry." But here is what they left out. Russia confirmed serial production begins in 2026. The Russian military-industrial complex is targeting at least 5 to 6 units per year in the immediate term, scaling higher from there. And crucially, the Orreshnik's significance is not just military. It is strategic. It reintroduces intermediate-range missiles to Europe. It puts every NATO capital within range. It is the announcement of a new era. This is what Russian military doctrine calls escalation to de-escalate. You do not need 1,000 Orreshniks. You need enough so that the other side knows the cost of a first move is unacceptable. Here is the question nobody in mainstream media is asking. Why is Russia building missiles it does not need for Ukraine? Ukraine does not require Orreshniks. Ukraine does not require Zircon hypersonic anti-ship missiles. Ukraine has no navy that justifies 700 Onyx missiles. Ukrainian intelligence said it themselves. Russia's missile programs are focused on extending range, improving accuracy, and enhancing warhead power. And their own intelligence chief added the key line. Preparing for war with NATO by 2030 requires a much greater range. This is exactly what Russia is building into its weapons programs. Ukraine is, well, the test range. But the real target audience here is Brussels, Washington, Warsaw, Vilnius. According to a 2025 US Defense Intelligence Agency assessment, Russia almost certainly seeks to avoid direct conflict with NATO because, quite frankly, it believes it cannot win a conventional war against the alliance. So what is Russia doing? It's closing that gap, missile by missile, month by month. Not to start a war, but to reach a position where NATO can no longer simply assume it would win one. And honestly, that changes everything about deterrence, about European defence spending, and about the entire post-Cold War security order. So, here is what the mainstream media gave you in the past 6 months. Iran coverage, Iran ceasefire, Iran energy deals, Iran. And while your attention was there, and look, that was entirely legitimate, we covered it in detail. A parallel story was unfolding in Russian missile factories. It's one that, honestly, has longer-term implications for global stability than almost anything else happening right now. Russia did not run out. Russia rebuilt. And the question you should be asking is not whether Russia will use these missiles. The question is, what does Europe do when deterrence is no longer assured? That is really the story behind the story. If this video made you think, share it. Leave a comment. Tell me what you want us to investigate next. I will see you in the next one.